Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Amista, and we are here to have a little fun. We're going to do some tarot, some Reiki, and we are going to do, while I play with my settings, we are going to do some tarot, some Reiki, and some manifestation advice. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to start by clearing cards. So, let's get my face out of the way so you guys can see that I am in actuality actually clearing the cards. So let's take care of that first. I am going to clear 3 decks today. Spirit's been having me use more than just the one, so we're just going to make sure that we're ready for whatever may show up. This is Lenormand, and this is the Rana George Lenormand to be specific. I really like the artwork on these Lenormand cards here. I have a few decks, 3 decks of Lenormand. This one speaks to me the easiest. I'm sure that's just a personality thing, but I really like them. And the tarot that we're using today is the Wildwood Tarot. This is my 3rd generation of Wildwood Tarot decks. My first 2 decks I had to retire because they were getting too worn out. You can kind of see from these, they're not exactly new right now either. And so this is actually the type of deck that I learned on whenever I learned tarot. So whenever I use this deck, it just kind of feels like coming home. Feels pretty relaxed and easy. Oops, that was 2 cards. Let's fix that. Boo-ba-da-doo-doo, boo-ba-da-doo-doo, boo-ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Welcome, welcome to those of you joining. We're just really getting set up. I'm giving people time to come into the room. If you're coming across this video later, whoops, you may want to zoom past some of this stuff until we get to the part that you are looking for. After I finish clearing my decks, then we're going to look at, then we're going to do 5 minutes of Reiki. After that, we'll look at best manifestation advice for the next 24 hours. Hello there, Miss Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. While I'm doing this, let me just remind everybody not to let the scammers get to you. I am not a reader that is going to contact you in any way, shape, or form and tell you that you need a reading. That is not me. There are some really great scammers out there that can impersonate a person really well. I have seen some profiles that people have showed me where people reached out and contacted some of my viewers, and that profile would have fooled me. So just beware and know that I do not ask you to do a reading for you. I let you guys come to me if you need a reading, or any of my other services either. And you can find all my services on the website listed in the top corner of this screen. Okay. All right, so now we have our decks clear. We're going to move into the Reiki. Miss Cheryl, how are you doing today, by the way? So let's do Reiki. We're going to do Reiki for 5 minutes. That means at 13 after the hour, we will be finished with this. I am setting the intention for everything that is for each of your highest and best good as individuals. If there's something more specific you would like the Reiki to focus on, please feel free to go ahead and adjust that intention. Joanne Leone, hello, hello. We're just doing Reiki right now. I don't know if you already heard. We're going to do this for a few more minutes. We've got 4 minutes left on the Reiki. And it's set for whatever is your highest and best good. If you have something more specific you would like to use it for, feel free to make that adjustment. I'm glad to hear that you are great. You know me. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm doing Reiki and readings. My YouTube's going viral. My client base is expanding. My life is good, good, good. And getting better all the time. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you're doing great. What was weather like in Idaho today? We have 3 more minutes left on the Reiki. And by the way, somebody is soaking up a whole lot of Reiki energy, especially from, I'm going to say, the bottom of the torso all the way down to the tippy toes. There's some in the upper body parts too, but mostly there. Two more minutes left on our Reiki today. Someone's got somebody right next to you, whether it's an animal or a person, whether you're here now or you're here later. Somebody right next to you that is, I'm going to say there to your right hand side that is having something that is physically being healed. I'm going to guess that that's a pet, or maybe it's another person sitting next to you. Usually it's a pet that I feel if a pet's all snuggled up with you. But that is really, that's pulling a lot of really strong energy. Okay, let's wrap this up. All right, so let's move on to our manifestation advice over the next 24 hours and see what we get. What do we get? What do we get? Okay, we're going to start with our oracle cards. Oracle of the Lord Ganesha is what these are called. Healing. That's fun. So we were just doing some healing. Now, I'm going to tell you, healing is a very open word for me because I think of healing as being something that we can do in our physical body. But I also think of it as something that we can do in our finances or in our emotions. Goodness, there was a glare there, wasn't there? So it can be in our bodies or it can be in our emotions. It can be mental health, can be finances. Healing is anything being improved. In my world, it's a very open word. All righty. So what we have to help us with healing, whatever it is we need to heal. Ooh, look at that. Okay, there's something going on. And this, I'm going to say that this is for everybody. The intention is that it's for everybody. So let's stick with that. There's something going on here where there may be a little bit of codependency at issue. And, excuse me, that's what we're looking at healing up here. And so a lot of times when we're codependent, we're trying to keep the peace, whatever it takes. Whether that means we do something that somebody else should be responsible for, or whatever else that might take. What am I doing with my picture? That's not the one I want to move. I want to get me out of there more. Okay. So we can do things that other people should be doing. We can be quiet when we see people making mistakes. We can decide, oh, I don't want to say anything about that. There's a lot of ways that we can actually play that out. Now, with this 5 of Vessels coming up in reverse, this basically says, you know what, you've been kind of pretending that everything's been okay. And the time for pretending that is over and done with. This is time to stand up for ourselves. I'm sorry, but I just feel like the picture's all wackadoo. There we go. So it's time to start standing up for ourselves, develop a backbone. This is a card that when it's right side up, we are pasting on a smile. We're pretending that everything is okay when it's really not. We're just being chewed apart from the inside out. And that takes a toll on us. It takes a toll on our health, and eventually we lose it emotionally too. So this is saying it's time to stand up for, if there's something that is chewing us up from the inside out, it's time to stand up and say something about that. Don't try to just keep the peace indefinitely, because that's not going to work. The Green Woman basically says, it's okay to be somebody that people can rely on and to be supportive and to be encouraging and to be uplifting. That's okay. But you also have to say when something is really bothering you, or if you have needs too, you have to bring those up. Okay, so we're not cutting anybody off. We're just saying, hey, I need a little here too. Maybe I just need a little rest. Can you cover for me while I get a nap? Can you not call me and harass me long enough for me to take a 20-minute nap? I know people who are married to people that they are so on top of them that getting a nap is a big ordeal. So I don't know that that's necessarily what anybody here needs, but being able to say what we really need allows us actually to be able to bring more to the table when we want to be nurturing and uplifting to somebody else. And the 8 of Arrows just talks about that this becomes easier once we've said, hey, I need this too. You're not the only person who needs something in this dynamic, or you're not the only people who need things in this dynamic. I need something too. And that allows you to be able to move forward without feeling burnt out and exhausted all the time, doing the nurturing and the uplifting that you like to do without overstepping those boundaries and doing more than what you're actually responsible for. Because part of nurturing and uplifting is teaching people, encouraging people, inspiring people to handle things that are theirs independently. It's when we don't do that, when we teach people to be dependent on us, that we go into codependent mode. So this is saying it's fine to be interdependent. It's not fine to be codependent. Stand up for yourself. Say what you actually need. That makes it a lot easier for you to have a healthy relationship with the other people in your world. And so healing is what that's all about. And I think a lot of empaths, that's a hard lesson for a lot of us who are empaths because we really feel how other people feel. So, of course, we want to help them. And a lot of times we feel like, well, I'm more strong than they are, or I'm going through less than they are, or well, I can handle it better than they can. And so we keep moving forward when really we shouldn't be moving forward. We should be letting them pick up some of their own slack and moving forward on our own goals, our own projects. All right, all right, all right. Is there anybody in the room who would like to have me look at cards for you? If you have a question for me, please put a question in the text box. And if you would like a message from Spirit, you can put that in there too. Hello there, MMC. Did you hear our manifestation advice or did you miss that? I'm going to see if I can move this chat around and make it a little better for me. A little bit more readable. Don't do that. I don't. Oh, that's better. Okay, so Cheryl wants a message. Anybody else? Joanne wants a message. Joanne. Is this your second time in here, Joanne? Or have you been in here more than that? I remember seeing your name once before, kind of recently. What about you, MMC? Do you want a message? Or do you have a question? I mean, you're in here. You may as well let me read for you. A few times? Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back. How about that? How about that? What cards are we going to use for Cheryl? Oh, we're not using cards for you today. Cheryl, you're getting stoned today, man. Let's see. What are we going to use for you? That. I'm not getting into my big collection. I'm just going to take what's on the table around me and see who wants to talk to you. Jeez, I didn't know I had so many stones on the desk. Maybe that one's dusty. Can't have obsidian that's dusty because then it doesn't look shiny and pretty. It's a little better. Really need to just clean it. Okay, let's see. MMC, message from Spirit. MMC, remind me of your first name, honey. I don't know why, but I don't remember that. Okay, who wants to talk to Cheryl today? I know the Ocean Jasper does. You do. And you do. Okay, all right. I'm noticing all my stones are dusty. All right, so let's set these aside. All right, so Miss Cheryl, let's start with the Ocean Jasper because that's the first one that told me wanted to talk to you. What do we see in here? Oh, Cheryl. Cheryl, you've got somebody who is. First of all, I'm going to say you have an angel that's looking out for you because I'm seeing angel wings in a person's, like a humanoid looking body. But I do want to tell you that you have at least one angel looking out for you because it's showing up in the stone for me here. And I think you've got some people too who have crossed over to the other side because I don't know if you can see it in the camera the way I can. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it at a nice angle for you and me. But here, I kind of see like a little mama holding a baby. And the baby's leaning over almost out, like with his arms out. So I don't know if this is supposed to be your mom. They've got long hair. It's definitely a female. If this is supposed to be your mom, showing me her holding you, or if this is a mother-daughter, or if this is a friend and somebody else's, I'm going to say daughter baby. Although I'm not really sure why I'm going to say that. It just seems like a daughter baby that's crossed over. Anyway, we've got these three. We've got this angel wanting you to know it's there, and this woman and this baby wanting you to know that they're around. They're watching over you. They're almost like bent over, like they're looking to see, what's she up to now? And even with the angel, I kind of get the sense of ancestors. So I'm not sure if this mom and the baby is also part of your family tree, or if they're separate from that. That's an interesting thing for a stone to bring through for me. So I'm kind of asking, like, what would they like to say? And they're having me look at some of these pockets. Like, there's little pockets, like little holes in the stone where there's a little bit of druzy. They're having me really focus on those pockets. And they're saying something about pockets of life. Ah, okay. Everybody has their own pocket of life, is what they're saying. And they're saying they want you to know that sometimes the pockets overlap and intermingle, but they aren't completely overlapped and intermingled with everybody else's pocket. So there's a lot that you solely have control over in your life where that overlap isn't, and you have a big influence on where the overlap is. And they just want you to realize that there's a lot that you yourself have control over. And they're encouraging you to focus on what you have control over rather than the things that you don't have control over right now. Or where you're trying to influence, but the influence doesn't seem like it's showing up. They're saying don't even focus on that. Just focus on what you can control. Kind of like the old serenity prayer. How does that go again? Anyway, it's something about help me to accept the things I cannot change and change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, something like that. That's kind of the message that's coming through here, although not in those words. Now, let's see what's going on with this stone for you. Cheryl, I hope you're still in the room. You're awful quiet since I started reading for you. Okay. So this stone is showing me these two little marks here. They almost look like snake bite. Okay. And I don't know if they're talking to me about that you literally had a snake bite and that there's still scars, or if there was venom that was, I'm hearing, installed in you. And they're telling me that you've done a really good job on getting most of that venom out, but um, there's still some scar tissue or some scarring, is what they're saying. So whatever this venom was that was installed in you, Like, I don't know exactly what that would be. If that was a bad mindset about, what you're worthy of, or if it was a bad mindset about maybe you had people around you who are really prejudiced or what. But it basically, what I'm getting on this is that you've done a lot to uninstall this venom, but there's still a little bit of residue left to be dealt with. And they're asking you just to be aware of that. That's it on that one. Chemo. That's definitely venom that's installed. And the poke marks, almost like a snake bite. Usually only one, right? Okay, it's Maria. All right, thank you. We have one more rock to look at for you, Cheryl. One more volunteered. Alicia's up next. Well, not next. Next one on the list, but we've got after Cheryl is then Joanne, then Maria, then Alicia. Okay, one more rock, Cheryl. This is funny. Spirit hasn't had me get anybody stoned for a while. That's what I call it when I'm not reading the cards, when I'm reading the stones. You're getting stoned. Okay, Cheryl, what's your last stone saying? Oh my gosh, I have a feeling this is talking to me about diet, because when I look at this, the first things I hear as I'm looking at this, I'm kind of like seeing this streak of the gold here. Oh no, it's kind of glared. Yeah, like there's a streak of gold here, and I'm hearing honey, and it's about honey colored, real light colored honey. But I'm also seeing the streaks of kind of the white too. And then what I heard is marbling. Like, you know how a steak is marbled or a roast has marbling in it? It's talking about the honey and the fat. Let's see what it's actually telling you about the honey and the fat. I mean, we know honey's a natural sweetener, and we know that they're starting to understand that animal fat is actually good for us, much better than something like canola oil or vegetable oil. When I'm looking at this part and trying to focus in on the honey, I'm hearing like stirred up in here. So I don't know if we're talking about honey and coffee, honey and tea, but apparently, I don't know. I'm scared to say that honey would actually do you good, because what if you're diabetic or something? But that's what I'm getting. Like a little honey would do you good, not like globs and globs. That would be globs and globs, but that's not the side I'm looking at. This is the side they want me to look at. And the marbling is talking about balance. It's just talking about balance. Like that you want to have a good balance in the things that you're putting in your mouth. You don't want to eat like mostly carbs or mostly protein or mostly anything, mostly junk. You want to have a good balance. You just ordered Manuka, honey. Well, I guess you did the right thing. What do you mean you've never seen? What is it you've never seen? You've never seen me stone someone? I haven't done it in a long time. Probably years. I used to do this. I used to do it pretty regular, just for fun. A professional reading, we're not going to do the stones, but this is just for fun because, I live stream for fun. It's just a side effect that it promotes my actual business. Let's see. Who's next? Joanne. Joanne, I think we're going to do the runes for you today. Now, runes, we'll see how this turns out because I'm not as good with runes as I am with cards. I'm actually just learning. But that's who's calling to talk to you. And the runes I have are moss agate runes. Okay, let's see. How are we going to format Joanne's message? What are we talking about? What is her best advice around what we're talking about? And what is the outcome if she follows the advice? Okay, what are we talking about? Ooh, okay. Best advice around what we're talking about. All right. Scoot you guys together. And outcome if you follow the advice. You guys know I have Uranus in the 6th house, right? That means I like to shake things up. We can't do everything the same every day. Amista can't handle it. Okay, so this is really interesting, Ms. Joanne, because all of your runes came up, one's facing down and one facing up. What are you talking about, Alicia? The job you're working now or the job that you were going to go back to at Amazon? Sonali asked a question. I need to write down Sonali's name. As a question. Marie's was also. Oh no, Marie's was a message. Okay. All right, let me focus back here. So, Joanne, what do you have? Oh, I love this. This is the one that I don't remember the official name, but it talks about the hearth fire. We like that. Oh, I have to look this one up. I don't remember. But we've got the hearth fire that is actually showing up. So the hearth fire is showing up. The hearth fire talks about warmth, basically. And this can be emotional warmth or physical warmth. Let's see, which one am I looking for again? Not that one. This one, Nayad. I don't remember this one. 3 great runes of delay. The Council of Nayad is one of patience, passing through a difficult learning situation. The time is known as the crossing of the abyss. That sounds terrible. Extreme emotional travail. Okay, however, meeting this emotional challenge head on and conquering your fear of it can be the catalyst that drives you to overcome whatever obstacles may appear in your path later. Okay, so here's the thing. With Nayad here, but remember, Nayad is face down. Nayad is towards my table. So this is what is not seen. So it may be that you're going through some emotional trouble, but nobody else sees it. You're probably hiding it from anybody else. And you may even be suppressing it from yourself. But with this hearth fire coming in right behind that, together with it, this talks about also coming to the end of that time. Things start to warm up. Things start to get emotionally warmer and more stable and more comfortable. So this is a situation talking about the end of a time where you've really been going through trouble that you probably haven't told very many people about. All right, so that's what we're looking at first. That's your situation, Joanne. Let's look at your advice. I think it's already pretty encouraging that you're coming out of this, but let's look at your advice. So we've got what actually is showing its face to me as Manas. And then what is not? I think this might be weird. Yeah, this is weird. And this talks about secret things, spirit basically acting behind the scenes when we see weird. There are things going on that we don't know about. Spirit is working on things. And Manaz, I just want to check real quick and see exactly what it means again. I was looking at runes every day for myself, and then I kind of got out of that habit, so I didn't totally learn them the way I wanted to yet. I just have to find it. I apologize for the delay, guys. No, it's not Manaz. It's Awaz. Is the other one Manaz that I'm thinking of? Yes. Okay. This is Awaz, which is a rune of physical movement, physical shifts, or new dwelling places. But it's a change for the better, and usually one that you anticipate. This change usually involves travel of some sort, perhaps even an actual change of locale. Awaz stands for gradual development and steady progress. So this really talks about this idea that wherever you're coming away from this emotional travail, as they say in the book, sounds terrible. This basically, the advice that you're getting here is that spirit is really helping you to shift forward, although I think it's a gradual shift. But I think what you need to know is that you're not alone in this. Kind of like that Footprints in the Sand poem that used to be popular in the 70s and 80s and maybe the 90s even, that you're not traveling alone, that the divine is with you as you are making this movement. The divine is working things out behind the scenes so that you can make forward progress here. Now, what is our outcome? I like what's facing up because that's Gifu. That's a gift. Oh, look, we got Manaz. Manaz is facing down. So what you can't see right now really is Manaz. And Manaz talks about being interdependent with somebody, which is different than being codependent. It's where it's a more healthy way of being intermingled with another person or another group. And this is the gift. It's kind of the gift of finding somebody that, or being with somebody that you can really intermingle with in a healthy way, because you're doing the work to come through this emotional upheaval or travail, and spirit is working along with you to help you make forward progress there. And so this really is saying what the outcome is. The outcome is that you end up happily intertwined with somebody else, and it feels like a gift. Especially after all this, it's going to feel like a gift. It's going to feel like the lap of luxury. So I hope that makes sense for you. At least the parts that you're already in. This may be coming up. The gift part may be coming up. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. The one you just left. As in you just left the workplace? Or as in you just quit? I mean, as in you just quit the job a few days ago, or the one that you just left the workplace today? That's what I've tried to ask. Javiani, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, y'all. We're having fun tonight, but I just want to say, you guys, if you want to book a psychic tarot reading with me or a mediumship reading with me, or if you want to join one of my classes, or if you want to see all the other stuff I do, all you have to do is check out my website. We're just having fun here tonight, just in a little different way than usual so far. So when you quit a few days ago, okay. The bye-bye job. So what are you actually trying to find out? Like, are they coping with you having left? Is that what you're trying to find out? How well are they coping? I'm not quite sure what information I'm looking to try and find there. Okay, Maria. Who wants to talk to Maria? Who wants to talk to Maria? Okay, we're going to use the Lenormand for Maria right now. Thank you for letting me know you're here. I was just saying, I have not done the stones in years. I just took all of these that were on my desk and kind of gathered them in a clump in front of me. We're bouncing all over the desk today. We've used the oracle cards, we've used the tarot cards, we've used the stones, now we've used the runes. Now we're on to Lenormand. Oh, you're quite welcome. I'm glad that made sense for you. Yay. Okay. Well, that would be an appropriate gift for coming out of your shell, wouldn't it? Somebody to intermingle with. All right. Maria, we're going to do 5 cards for you. We're just going to see what Spirit wants to say to you with these 5 cards. Ooh, the star is very beautiful. I want to get all the cards in here, but I don't feel like moving everything. There. That's what happens when you have a lazy psychic. All right, stars, the scythe, the book. Ooh. We have the ring. And we have the dog. Stars talk about clarity, understanding. They can also talk about somebody who is a star. All right. Now, this is interesting. So, you have a friend with this dog who suddenly, with the scythe, has a much more clear understanding about your commitment to the esoteric. So I don't know if that's already happened or if that will be happening. But you have a friend who suddenly gets it. I mean, suddenly gets it. Interesting. And they might end up just as committed to you as you to the esoteric, or maybe even more. But the way that it happens so suddenly, I think it's going to kind of surprise you. It's going to shock you. If it hasn't just now, like within the last few days, then I think it will happen within the next few days. Beep-a-dee-dee-dee. 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 So that was for Maria. Alicia had the question. You're quite welcome. Has it happened yet? Do you know who I'm talking about yet? If you don't, you know what that means. That means the next time I live stream, then you have to tell me all about it. Plus, you'll have to remind me what I saw. Because that's the way my brain works. Okay, so Alicia. My emerald wants to talk to you. I think that's because you're halfway psychic yourself. More than halfway. I think that's fun. I don't know if it's because I'm a Scorpio or what, but everybody that I run into that I become good friends with, if they aren't already into this stuff, they end up into this stuff. Devyani. Let me put you on the list, honey. All right, so let's see here. This is Alicia. After Alicia is Sonali, and then after Sonali is Devanya. If Sonali's even in here, I'm not sure if Sonali is. Okay, so the big oval stone. The big one. Are you talking about this one? I guess I don't have to leave my finger there all day, do I? These all need to be dusted off. Good thing I got them out. That's labradorite. Labradorite. And I was very lucky. I got to speak at a gathering for people who own metaphysical stores. And because I was a speaker there, then I got to buy some stones at wholesale, and this was one of them. And I got a super good price on that. Okay, so Emerald for Alicia. What would you like to say to Alicia about the meaning of what she heard about her old job? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place, am I? Oh, I still have a sticker on that. I can't believe I didn't take that sticker off ever. Oh, this is odd. I don't know exactly what things, but when I look at this, I'm hearing things are being chipped away. What's going on? What are you trying to tell me? Somebody is looking at things and they're feeling like there's certain parts of the way that place is run that are really redundant. I don't know, but I think you got out at just the right time. It looks like they're trying to, well, they are reshaping this place. Will it work out for the better or not? I don't know. But they're definitely reshaping how things work there. And in the process, yeah, in the process, some things are going bye bye. And some of the things that are going bye bye are things that have been kind of a part of that, of how that place operates for a very long time. And you see how rough this stone is? This stone is like super rough here. I mean, it's polished up here, but it's super rough everywhere else. I think that's about how rough it feels for the people that are still there. This is a very uncomfortable situation that I'm seeing. Yeah, but there's somebody in management that's coming in and that's just like basically trying to remake everything. And I think they're also trying to remake everything because there are some financial worries and they are trying to cut as much fat as possible without cutting into the bone. So that's what the emerald has to say. Let's see. I don't know what you saw or how that even relates to it. So, Somali, are you still in the room? Am I even saying that name correctly? Let's find out. Where is that name? Sonali. Are you still in the room, Sonali? I don't see Sonali still in the room. So we're going to move on to Devyani because Savali has not said anything for a while. You saw a disfigured shadow shape at the old work? Why was that there? Why was that there? How does it tie into what's happening there? Uh-huh. This is somebody that is on the other side that is trying to look out for the owner of this business. And look at this clearance, clearing away the fat, clearing away the unnecessary, clearing away the clutter. Instruction. There's a lesson to be learned here. This person isn't very happy while they're learning this lesson. I think you just saw the manifestation of the guide who is trying to help this person as they're trying to reshape. I think you got out of there at just the right time. When was this? Was this after you already quit? Like, I don't understand why you were back there. Unless you were back there to pick up a last paycheck or something. Devyani. I think you just wanted a message from Spirit, I guess. Who wants to talk to Devyani? Today, today, today. You know, I'm not very clairvoyant, so I have actually never seen a dark shadow figure. I feel them occasionally. They don't come around me much, though. Did I ever tell you guys about this house that I cleared for this lady who wanted me to come in and clear her house before she rented it to the next people? So she had her renters were gone, and she had an upstairs renter and a downstairs renter, or an upstairs unit and a downstairs unit. And so she asked me to come out and cleanse the house before she re-rented it. And I had asked her, are there strange goings on? What's happening there? And she said, oh, nothing much. I just want it re-rented before a new renter. And so I'm going in there, la di da da da. I did not take my normal precautions because I thought it was going to be just a basic smudge, no big deal. So I cleanse the downstairs. I go through the whole downstairs. Everything is beautiful, perfectly fine. Happiness making. Froggy made a good comment. So it's all good. And I'm telling her, I'm like, I really don't know why you even called me. Like, there's no bad energy here. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And she said, oh, well, I already cleansed the downstairs. I just wanted to have somebody come in behind me. And I cleansed the upstairs too. I just thought it would be better if I had a professional come in behind me. Sure. Yeah, fine. So guess what? I go outside, and then the entrance upstairs is going from the outside in. And I was very naive. I had not caught on yet that there's something going on that she's not telling me. I mean, I kind of had because I just knew it was weird. You don't go to a house to cleanse it and it's already cleansed. But I didn't know really what was up yet. So I go into the top level and I turn into the very first room off the hallway. There's like a wide hallway-ish foyer. So I turn into the first room off of there. And the rest of the house is pretty well empty, but this room has like a couch and it has like a concrete gargoyle sitting on the arm of the couch. And it had a couple other little things in the room. One of the things it had a broom in there. You could tell she'd been cleaning up. And the broom was leaning against the wall. And so the gargoyle is creeping me out as soon as I get in there. And I'm telling myself, Amista, it's just a statue. Calm down. But I just had big time creepers off of it. And so I'm walking around the room and I'm smudging. And I'm just doing like a plain Jane smudge, nothing special. Hello there, Tiffany. Glad to see you. We're just doing story time and then we're going to get back to readings. Hey, Rhoda. And so next thing I know, that broom comes up away from the wall and comes at me and smacks me across my legs. Not enough to hurt me because I was wearing a big fluffy skirt, but definitely not to be missed. I can answer, Rhoda. And it was at that moment that I realized I should never have trusted this lady that said she just wanted somebody to come and clean behind her as a professional. That there was really some stuff going on she just didn't want to tell me about. And I pulled my stuff together really fast to handle that situation. I was like, don't let them see fear, don't let them see fear, don't let them see fear. Amista, don't let them see fear. And I pulled it together. It was only the one room. And then afterwards, I went downstairs and I told her that that one room had really been heavy duty and relative to the rest of the house. And she says, "Yeah, that room. I didn't clean that room. It gives me the creeps." I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Rhoda? Okay, let's go back to doing some readings. We're going to interrupt story time for some readings. Okay, so this is for Devyani because I think Sonali took off. Devyani, message from Spirit. Let's see, we picked this one first, didn't we? Okay, this is, it's kind of in the glare, so you can't tell very much. That's what it looks like. That's a nice image of it there. This is scolecite, is what it's called. It's supposed to be really good for the bones. Ooh, Devyani, it's talking to me about your bones. They're asking me, what happened to your backbone? You used to really stand up for yourself so much better than you have lately. They're telling me that there's somebody that you really respect a lot or that you really like a lot, something you hold in high regard, but they're doing some things that a part of you knows that you should stand up to them, but you're almost like, it's almost like you have so much respect for this person that you don't want to say anything in disagreement with them. Like, I don't know if this is a colleague, if this is a professor. It feels professorish, like this is a person that you look up to. And so it's really hard for you to stand up to them and say, you know, what you're doing right now, we could do better, type of thing. And so this site wants to know, what happened to your backbone? Where is it? Where is it? You used to use it. So I'm not sure who that person is in your life that needs to be stood up to, but you can't let yourself be, I don't even want to say bullied because I don't know if this person is actually bullying you, but it's just that you have them on such a high pedestal that you're afraid to say anything to them that's not pleasant. And you can't let yourself be in that space because sometimes things just need to be said. Decisions need to be made, and they need to be made based on integrity. And that can't happen as long as you're not honoring the integrity of yourself. All right, let's see what else we have. This was your second stone that wanted to come up. Are you still in the room, by the way, Devyani? All right. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. So your second stone is obsidian. And obsidian is a little bit transparent if you get a thin enough spot, although I'm not sure if you can tell that on the camera. This spot is a little bit transparent, but you can't see that. Anyway, obsidian comes from volcanoes. And it's very sharp-edged. In the past, people used to use it to cut things, to scrape hairs off of hides. What this obsidian is saying, Devyani, is that you know the truth. And you should trust yourself. You know the truth. So if you've been getting some kind of gut hits about something, where people are telling you things that really you just kind of know that's not right, you should trust yourself on those. Especially if it pertains to this issue about standing up to somebody and using your spine. It may be that your backbone, it may be that you're having a hard time standing up for yourself because you're kind of wondering, well, is this really legit? Am I getting a nice solid hit on this, or is this just not even true and I'm just off the deep end? With these sharp edges, this is like swords are like knives, and swords or knives in the tarot are thoughts. They're words. They're the truth. This basically says you know the truth. You know the truth. So when it comes to using your backbone, trust that truth. Okay? Now, Labradorite. You used to. I'm hearing that you used to. You used to stand up for yourself when need be. Lately, you haven't been. Hmm. Oh, that is so wild. Okay, Devyani. This is pretty deep, honey. How old are you now? Are you in your 20s? 31. I don't know if I can make you see what I'm seeing or if I'm the only one that can see it. But I see you right here. Try to get away from the glare without losing the image. With your hair and your face and a little bit of your body coming down here. And it looks like there's this little kid in front of you, but this little kid is more shiny, ethereal, spirit body type thing. And then there's this almost like a monster type humanoid person trying to grab that little kid. And what I'm really seeing here is I'm seeing this is you, this is your little. This is somebody who, when you were little, they kind of put you through a lot that was pretty miserable. And this person may still be alive because it looks to me like you're in this tug of war with this person about who you were, who you are, both. You know, no parent's perfect. I think every parent puts some kind of scars on their kids, right? I mean, just because they don't know any better for the most part. It feels to me like this is a parental figure, like probably your mom, that had you believing some very basic things about who you are that are much, 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 much less than who you are. And it basically looks like you are in a battle for yourself over those things that were imparted to you whenever you were little. And it's almost like you're battling to show that little version of you that you can take care of you, that little version of you, here we go. Here, I've hit the core. That little version of you is no longer at the mercy of this other person. Who was kind of horrible to it, whether they meant to be or not. They were kind of horrible to you when you were little. And so that little version of you that got scarred up and that took on all of these things that this person taught you, that little person, that little version of you, it still impacts you because, you learned all these things as a little one. And so they just become bigger as we become bigger. Those ideas of our own self-worth or not self-worth. And it looks like you're aware that that has impacted your life, that has impacted your self-esteem, and you're in, this sounds really dramatic, but I don't think that I can over dramatize this. You're basically in the battle of your life to show your little how good life really can be, so that your little actually can accept that life can be good, and it allows you as the adult to move forward. And when I say it's the battle of your life, I mean it in the way that what we believe about ourselves and where our self-esteem is completely influences what we achieve and what we even reach for in life. And so if you continue to think that you're worthy of whatever this person tried to tell you you were worthy of, which was much less than, then you achieve much less than. But if you can recognize the worthiness that the divine imparts on you and how profound that is, then you don't have to be less than. You are liberated to be much more than you ever could have imagined before. And that's why it's the battle of your life, because it changes your perspective on everything, which changes your life completely. I hope that makes sense for you. Expect the labradorite to give the deepest message. Okay. Rhoda. Who wants to talk to Rhoda today? You guys are getting real interesting now. Okay, Rhoda's message from Spirit. Are you still in the room, Ms. Rhoda? You have a chunk of malachite that wants to sit on top of some tarot cards. Don't ask me why. You're quite welcome. Did it make sense for you, honey? Rhoda comes and goes with work all the time earlier in the day. I don't know if she's working now or not. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Let's do it to it. Ms. Rhoda. Trying to connect dots. Like from when you were little to how that impacts now. It's really weird because everybody around you can see the dots. When you start talking to them, it becomes really obvious to them. But when you live through that life, it's really hard to see the dots sometimes. And I know because I've been in that fight for my life. I would say I'm still in that fight for my life. All right. Poor Miss Rhoda. Oof, that's ugly. Sheesh. I'm glad I lit incense and lit a candle before I started this. Otherwise, I'd be worried about these readings. First of all, we have something going on here where there's something that's definitely unfair happening in your life, Miss Rhoda. Somebody is taking advantage. Somebody with a narcissistic personality, whether it's a female or a male, is definitely taking advantage of your happiness. So this could be a psychic vampire. Doesn't have to be though. Uh, Interesting. I mean, here's the thing. A narcissist is a psychic vampire, just big time. Somebody with narcissistic tendencies, though, is taking advantage of your happiness. So when you're happy, that benefits them somehow. Is Rhoda still happy after? I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it has this sense of okay, so this is kind of what it has a sense of for me. When somebody's taking advantage of your happiness, I kind of think of like if somebody took a video of you on your happiest day ever, whatever that might be, best Christmas present. You just got your best Christmas present ever, and they filmed all of that happiness, and then they did an ad that was like for a pharmaceutical, and then as they're going through and listing all of the side effects this pharmaceutical could possibly have, possible suicide, possible diarrhea, possible life is just miserable. But at the same time, they're showing this video of you doing the happiest thing that you've ever done. To me, that's what this feels like, that kind of energy of they're taking advantage of your happiness some way. I would trip out if somebody was actually making ads and using your happiness in those ads for things that were not happiness making. I would trip out if my example was even close. But that's the energy that it feels like. So I don't know what that compares to in your life, but that's how you want to compare it. Now, this malachite here is very interesting because malachite in some parts of the world talks about royalty. And basically, the malachite wanted to be right on top of the sun card, which is your happiness card. It also talks about you being empowered. And the malachite is really trying to remind you that you are a part of the divine in this whole big matrix. And as a part of the divine, you have the power to have your happiness without it being taken advantage of. And the malachite wanted to be a part of this to remind you of that. That you can be happy without having somebody take advantage of it. You have control over that. I hope that makes sense whenever she shows back up. All right, guys. I've been here for, how long have I been here? An hour and 13 minutes. It is time for me to take off. Those of you who are not subscribed and have not hit the subscription notice or the bell, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell. That way you'll catch me next time I'm live as well, especially if you're into these types of things. Those of you who would like to schedule a private reading with me, which I know there's a few of you out there, I can feel you right now. Just check out my website. You can find scheduling information there. You can find payment information there. All of that good stuff is there. If there's something that you need scheduled that is not actually available, get a hold of me. We'll see what we can work out. And check out my classes too, especially if you're interested in Reiki or in tarot. Right now, those are the ones that are coming up. So check out my classes if you need that. And everybody, thank you for being here and for keeping me company. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic day. Peace out. Good night, Miss Froggy. Good night, everybody.